Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to another video. I wanted to do a quick video here about this whole comparing Ahsoka to Gandalf now. Apparently, and I didn't even realize this going back. I was so fixated on my Star Wars sequels reimagined and all the other stuff that I was doing on my channel and stuff. I wasn't really looking into some of the dialogue and things. So I guess Dave Filoni, he's been talking about similarities between Ahsoka Tano and the Lord of the Rings Gandalf since the animated show's second season ended. Then had the former Jedi make her long-awaited return in a series during its final moments, just exactly like the legendary wizard. Ahead of the character's live-action series on Disney, Rosario Dawson is also discussing how the iconic wizard story influenced her performance and understanding of the Clone Wars hero. But what exactly does that comparison mean for both her and Ahsoka? Gandalf the Great's transformation to Gandalf the White offers insight into what happened to Ahsoka when she visited the world between worlds. Excuse me? Ahsoka was a child that had little to no wisdom, who has just grown up into a 20-something person. I don't get it. Gandalf is an old, wise man who has information about Middle-earth that, few, if any, even have, and connections with Middle-earth that few, if any, even have. I don't think there's a comparison to draw here. I mean, why would you bring up Gandalf? Like, Star Wars is not that complicated. It's not that complex. Dave, and this speaks to, he's got a major ego, this guy. Like, to even put Ahsoka Tano in the same sentence as Gandalf? That's just insane. Gandalf is the most, arguably the most likable, if not, certainly up there with Frodo and Sam as the most iconic characters in The Lord of the Rings, which is one of the highest selling books of all time. It's like in the top 3 or 4. So this is a really weird comparison. Ahsoka Tano's story has a vital missing chapter during arguably the most important period in the galaxy's history. After she and Ezra Bridger first visited the world between worlds and mentioned at the very nexus of all time and space with portals to the past, future, and present, she immediately returned there by herself. We only know this from a handful of top Star Wars trading cards designed by Filoni. Why did she go back there? What happened when she did? And why didn't we see her again until years later, only after others defeated the Empire, when she showed up in a white robe holding a staff like Star Wars' very own Gandalf? Is that what happens in the Clone Wars? She shows back up after leaving? Or this is Rebels, I think. Yeah, you can tell because they can't keep the Laku consistent. It's different. This is Rebels. Is this what they did? This is what Filoni did? Is this why he didn't just have her die so he could do this and then gives her a staff? I can't believe this is real, guys. I didn't even know. I didn't even know. What are you doing? Gandalf defeated the Balrog in the Mines of Moria, and then he sort of passed into time and space in a way, but he was fighting the Balrog literally the whole time, and then I guess he dies, and he entered a realm out of thought and time. And while Gandalf's account of his death and return is frustratingly vague in the Two Towers, he hints that his soul departed the living world for much longer. Well, the reason it's vague is he even says in the book, he says Frodo calls him Gandalf, and he goes, "Oh yeah, that was my name." Like, he's almost like a totally reborn version of Gandalf, like a different guy in a way, like obviously more powerful and all that stuff. But in 1954, explained further what happened to Gandalf's death. The author suggested the ultimate god of his fantasy world, Eru, did something he swore he never would. He intervened in the events of Middle-earth by taking Gandalf's soul back to his sacred realm. He then sent Gandalf back to his physical body to assume Sauron's role as the White Wizard. Sauron's role, so he could aid in the defeat of Sauron. How does that have anything to do with Ahsoka? Ahsoka's not meeting the creator. She's just in the world between worlds looking at stuff. What is Dave Filoni doing? Okay, then this is a bunch of stuff about Gandalf. Gandalf the White, imbued with renewed purpose and insight, was far more serious and focused. He was also far more willing and quick to use his newly enhanced magical skills, speed, and strength. Some of his former warmth seemed to die with him too. Gandalf the White was more intimidating and less open with his friends. He was far more cautious than before and could even seem cruel thanks to his bluntness. I guess, in a way. And yet, despite his transformation from raggedy, Master Power Gandalf remained the same person at his core. He changed both physically and emotionally in important ways, but his heart didn't. He still cared greatly about others and put their needs above his own. How much of Gandalf's own transformation will be reflected in Ahsoka Tano's? We've already seen some similarities between the two in Rosario Dawson's version of the character. Her Ahsoka seems more serious and less playful than the animated version we knew. Well, why isn't she wearing... Where's the staff? Where's the white and all that? Are they going to do it again? I bet you they'll do it again. After she does the World Between Worlds in episode 5, she'll show up in episode 6 as the new Gandalf. Even though he already did it. As her, the Mandalorian, to be revealed, she is also more aggressive, willing to immediately go on the offensive against her enemies. There's an edge to Ahsoka that wasn't there. Again, sure, but that you could talk about that with a million different characters. Like there's all those action movies, Taken, John Wick, any of them, they get pushed, and then they turn into a different type of character that's more willing to go on the offensive and more willing to be, less lovey or whatever, and they get more intense. That doesn't mean you compare her to Gandalf. This is just, my character's the new Gandalf. She's also okay. What happened to her in the world between worlds that hardens her? What did she see and learn there? What spiritual experience did she have sitting and studying outside of the time? And how long was she there? These are all answers we hope to get from Ahsoka. But in the timeline, that wouldn't work because she's in the world between worlds after she comes back as the white Ahsoka in Rebels. This is weird. But we know what question to ask because you know what happened to Gandalf when he left this world behind. He returned with less personal warmth, but with renewed fire. Like, Dave Filoni, you should not be comparing Ahsoka to Gandalf. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. If she comes back in the last 2 episodes all white and blah, blah, blah. But then where was this before? Where did this go? What happened to make her not this version of herself, right? Because she's back to basically Mando Ahsoka. So in the timeline, I don't know. This whole thing is really weird. I don't know what Dave's doing. What do you guys think? Do you think it's appropriate to be comparing her to Gandalf? I sure as heck don't. But that's Dave Filoni for you. And that's what he likes to do. His stuff is the best, is better than the best stuff, or just as good in his own mind. And what is the purpose of this happening in Rebels, and then later now she's back to the way she looked and was in Mandalorian, and is no longer this white thing? So do you think Dave's just going to rehash it after she does the World Between World episodes on Tuesday, and then just rehash it? I would say probably. You guys let me know in the comment section. Thanks for listening, guys. Check out any of my content. Please like and subscribe if you like my content, and have a good day.